Back working on cars again. It's Sunday here in Perth and we've got the shit box here booked in to go over for a vehicle inspection on Tuesday morning, so I need to get it sort of finished and ready to go. It's been really hard to do anything this week because of the rain again and work, so I haven't really touched the car. My car though, I pulled up at work the other night, went and did my shift, and I got back to the car park and I had a flat tyre, so I've got to sort that out. I think I've got probably a screw in it or something, which is a shame, but I could sort that out. But today's job, I've got the window tint booked in for tomorrow morning. They're going to remove and replace the rear window tint because this one's all bubbled. So that tint's going to be different to the rest. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to take all the old tint out, all the old glass out, and put it in the other wreck car, and take the glass out of the wreck car and put it into here. I'm going to put this glass back into that car instead of just leave it out, just to try and keep the weather out of the body for now, till I start doing something with it. So that's today's job. We're going to change over these glasses and this one, and the front passenger one. The driver's one I can't because I don't have a spare one. This already is the one. Oh no, sorry, this is the one. This one from this car has to stay because the one in that car was busted when I got it. So this might be an odd piece of tint, which is fine. One thing I did do the day before yesterday was cleaned up the seat belts, because I know they have to retract when they inspect the cars. So that's one thing they check, that the seat belts retract. So I just took the plastics off and stretched them out outside the car and just hit them with a high pressure hose, and it just gets all the grime out of them, and yeah, hopefully helps them retract a bit better. Good enough. And the only other issue or part that I really need to get is a bonnet. You think I can find one in this colour anywhere? Who would have thought? So my idea is to probably take the one off my car, put it on this to get it over the pits, and I'll probably leave it on here, and I'll just pick up another bonnet for mine when I can find one, because this car has pretty much been sold, so I need to have a bonnet on it, and I can't sell it with a manky one. The tint on these ones is a little bit how you going. It's not too bad, but it's peeling here, and that one was pretty good, but the front one is a bit peely along the top edge. Plus these parts here, because these are like fixed in the car, this one's all scratched from the dogs, and all the ones in the other car are good, so we'll do that. These are pretty easy to change over. It's basically just one rivet up under here behind this flap, and a bolt down the bottom once you get the door card off. So that's pretty straightforward. The only issue I'm going to have is there's no no switches in the other car at the back for me to get the windows down and unclip them. So I'm going to have to just piss fart around with the switches, just so I've got some power to get the window to a point where I can actually get down the bottom and unclip it. Alright, so we've got the door card off for the first one. A little bit of rust on the door there, standard B series stuff. That's caused from this fucking piece of shit. If you've got these on your B series, get rid of them. They're just a sponge. So when you get water in the door cavity when it's raining, and I've already squeezed this out, this shit just acts like a sponge and holds the water. It's useless. I mean, it's good for keeping the sand out, that's what it is for, sand deadening, but it just, yeah, it's not good. And you'll find a lot along these cavities, because it holds water, they rust along here, and it's just from water sitting in that sponge. So I'd fuck it off and get some good sound deadener or something like that if you're keeping your car. But yeah, we're going to try and get this out. So all it is just under here. You got to pull this little pin out, and under here there's a little, if you can see it, there's a rivet just there. That one rivet, you just got to drill that out. Pretty easy. And take this 10mm bolt out. So I'll take the bolt out, drill the rivet out, and go from there. I've just taken the outer weather shield off. I'll just show you. Everyone probably knows, but it just sits in there, clips on, and inside the door, to remove that, there's just one screw, or you can use an 8mm. I think it's 8mm, might be 7mm. It's a little screw that just goes into the strip on the outside through that hole. Just a little, it's a screw, but it's got like a bolt head on it as well. Pretty sure it's 8mm, but I just used the screwdriver. And you'll need that out to be able to pull the glass out. And then that, just once you get that screw out, you lift it up from this end. It'll be clipped on, and then just slides out of the end. And we'll clean all this poo off before we put the new ones back on. Just a bit of water. Easy. You can see these are a bit manky, these strips. This one's not so bad, but the other side is poo, and the ones on the other car are good. So obviously these all come out with the glass because it's glued to this frame. So if you need new ones of these, you need to try and find a wreck that's got good ones. You can see this one's not even fitted well. It's not even sealing here. So we'll make sure we get that all sorted out. So I'm just using a decent sized drill bit. I don't know how big it is, maybe 6-7mm, something like that. And you just got to drill out the top of the rivet. I've just started it just so you can see what I mean. And just drill it so the top pops off, and then that's all you need to do. This rubber flap just flaps down. Just take that pin out and it just flaps down. Pretty easy. So we got that out relatively easily. It's just an aluminium rivet, so it drills really easily. You just need to drill, and then you'll find the top of the rivet just pops off, just like that. That's all you need. By the time you take that 10mm bolt out, you'll be able to slide this, just wiggle this and pop the back of that rivet back through the door. So we've drilled the rivet out, taken the 10mm bolt out. Now we just got to wind the window down to a point where we can get to it. So you just need to be able to get to these two clips to unclip the glass. Now the best thing to do is unclip the glass and then just let it sit in the body, and then start playing around with this frame, trying to get the frame out, because it is a bit difficult. It can be done, but trying to get the glass out with that frame in the way is a bit of a pain. So we'll unclip the glass and then we'll sit it in the back of the door. Alright, we've just unclipped the window. It's pretty straightforward. All I do is get two biggest screwdrivers I could find, flatheads, and at the same time just slide one on each side in each of these slots, and you just sort of got to twist them. So it's sort of, you're twisting out on each side and lifting it at the same time. And as you get one even semi unclipped, try not to move it, and then do the other one, and as you do the other one, the thing should just pop up. Pretty straightforward. So now we'll slide the window completely up and out of the way. It should go down. There it goes. So that's now just sitting in the door cavity. And the frame should pop out. So the frame's all loose now. We've just got to pull out the Bailey's channel, which is this piece of rubber here. It's inside the frame just there, so unpeel it, pull it out to about here where you can work with it. Now if you haven't pulled one of these off before, it can look a bit complicated, but it's pretty straightforward. So this rubber here, it just peels off, and it's just set, and it only stops there. So it's like an insert trim. And because it's all bent out here, all you do to get that flush when you put it back in is just squeeze this back together, and you wouldn't even know you've been there. So it just clips back in again. Where is it? And it'll sit nice and flush again, like it's supposed to. Pretty easy. And we've got the Bailey channel out. Now these can tear here in the corner, so be pretty careful. It just pops out like that. That's all we need. So now we can get this frame out. So like I said with the frame, we've drilled the rivet out to that. We should be able to just push back there. So you can see the rivet has pushed through that hole now. And this whole thing should slide. It's going to be a bit tight because there's a rubber, well, it's like a foam seal here, which is a bit sticky. They're always sticky, but a few jiggles, I might have to put the camera down, and we're sliding it basically away. So slide the whole thing that way, just jiggling this part out, and then it's just maneuvering it to get it out. So that's really it. All I did was just give it a little push, and you can see it's popped out on the outside here. I'm trying to do this with one hand. There it goes. So that's all it is. It's literally a rivet, a bolt. Take your glass out, outside seal, some rubbers here, which are easy to go back in. They just slide in. Good chance now to clean your Bailey rubber. If you've got some squeaky windows or ones that are tight going up and down, just clean up inside this channel. This one's got a bit of poo on it, as you can see. So I'll give that a bit of a clean up as well. Now, it's just a matter of manoeuvring it out. If you've got glass in there, if you're just replacing it to change these out, and you've got glass, just be careful, because I'll see if I can get it out. There's this bit here can scratch your tint. So yeah, just be mindful of that when you're taking it out. With that tint in there, I'm not really too fussed because it's coming out anyway. But if you're just changing these out, just be mindful of that piece, because it will scratch you can scratch your tint when you're getting it out. So that's a quarter window out. Without filming, you could probably do that in about, taking the door card off, 10 minutes, 15 max, from start to out. Easy. So that's one side done. I'm just going to get this other side out now on this car, and then I'll take the two both back out to the other car when I take them ones off, and I'll slip these straight back in, like I said, just to keep the weather out of that car for now, temporarily. The only other thing you need to do is just grab the glass and slide that out, just lift straight up. But yeah, that's very straightforward. But I'll stop filming, and I think I'll get these done. Alright, so I've just given the window frame a bit of a wipe down, get off all the dust and crap that was all on it. I decided to take the whole rubber out of the other window, the whole seal. It's in a lot better condition than this one. These ones are just all dusty and yucky. So I'm going to swap the whole rubber channel out as well. But just a little tip, when you're putting these back in, you've got to get that rivet out. So we've drilled that rivet, you've got to get that out so you can put another one in. So you can drill it, try and drill it out, or just try and chop the top off of it just to push it through the back. This is just a foam. So it's only on that little bit of thin sheet metal. So you just got to get that out so you can put a new rivet in it when you put it back in. So that's it. I'll just vacuum all that out. All I did was drill it down a little bit further till it was almost flush on the top, and then pull it out from the back. It's like a little slug, so that was just behind there, up in there, and that's ready for a new rivet. So there it is, we've got the new one in, we've got the new glass in, and the new frame is just sitting in. It's not tight, I've just got the bolt in just to hold it. So the glass went in first, then we set the frame in. You can see here the holes lined up perfectly for the new rivet to go in. But I'm just going to put the rubber channel in now, and then we'll do the rivet. So we've got one all done. This glass is much better, the surround's really nice, and there's no damage to any of the glass there. I've just got to put the outside trim on. I've got a few there to choose from, so I'm just going to pick the best one. The inside's all done, got the door card on now, finally got that trim on, so it's come up really good. Got our rivet in. The rivet, you need a decent sized rivet to hold it in there. I've actually lucky enough to have a rivet gun for an air compressor. I don't know how you'd go getting one in by hand. You probably will. But yeah, you need a good sized rivet in there. Now I've had to bring the car out here because I needed to get the window down in this one because the motor was all the way up and there was no charge in the battery. There wasn't enough charge to bring the motor down, so I had to just put the leads on so I could lower the motor down to get the glass out. Now that's done. This door is probably going to end up on my car. My car's got a bit of a ding on this body line, which has annoyed the shit out of me since I've had it. And this door's in really good nick, so there's no rust inside it or anything as well, which is a bonus. So now I'm just going to put this rubber, which is from this door, into that car, because that rubber I took out was shit. And then I'll take this glass out, put it into that one, and then we'll get the quarter window in. And then I'll put these ones back in this car without the rivet, obviously, just so I can put the glass back in and have the windows up just to keep the weather out, like I said. So we'll get into putting this weather strip on that car. So you can see there, this one's got it's just all pooey, and because of the animals, it's just a bit how you're going. I'll give this a bit of a spray with some water and get all that crap off. Get this out. Let's just pull out. Actually, I'll take this off first. So these things just unclip. And then this will just come out. Right. I like to just clean everything up as I go. This one's got a bit of rust here. A bit of a shame, but that's common on these cars. And the reason they do it is the foam. Like I said on the door cards, this foam here is just like a sponge. It just holds the moisture in. But it's on the inside, so it's not really a big deal. Yeah, I just like to clean all this up as I go. Just make it a little bit nicer. Just makes it putting it back together a bit better too. So I'll give it all a wipe down and get that rubber in. So we've got the quarter window all fitted. Got the rubber strip back in now. Let's just give that a bit of a clean up. The glass is in. Haven't got the rivet in there yet, and I haven't tightened up the bolt. So what I'll do is I like to just run the window up and down first. This helps the rubber seat in properly. So that's all good. A little bit spewing because there's a tiny little scratch here on the tint. It was already there. Nothing major. So should be fine. So now that's all sitting in nicely. Just take the pressure off that, and we'll get that little 10mm bolt back in just to hold this now that everything's all seated. So I've got the bolt in. Now we'll just do a couple of test runs. It's a little bit tight just there. But what I'll do, like I did the other side, just some silicone based spray. Again, it's just this tire shine. If you've got proper silicone spray, then yeah, use that. But this is silicone based anyway. So all I'll do is I'll just get it in this channel here, up and down both sides, and it does help. I'll spray some on and then we'll give it a test. Don't be scared to get it in there. I've already done this side, but we'll put some more on. And it will dry on the outside, but the silicone sort of helps the rubber. Alright, give it a test. It'll be a bit tight at the start like it was, but give it a few ups and downs and it should be okay. Beautiful. Much better. Little thing like that. And you can just do that when you're washing your car. Just spray a bit in and it just keeps them running nice and smooth. Sweet. Last thing to do on this one is put that rivet in, but that's easy. I've got to take the car back out the front because I ended up hooking up the compressor out the front, so I'll do that last. Clip this trim back on. Another one here, got to decide what to do there. It's getting there. I've just driven the car back out the front so I can get this rivet in, because I'm not happy with how it's sitting. There's a bit of a gap there, small gap. So I'm going to loosen off the 10mm bolt inside, pull that up so I can get the rivet in, and then see how that goes. Alright, so the rivet's in, much better gap now, happy with that. Now we'll tighten up that 10mm on the inside and start putting the door card back on. I'll put the rubber strip back on here, that clips on, pop the little grommet back in, little plug, there's the new rivet, pop him in. Happy days. I might bring that back a bit, flush that up. I hate gaps in shit like that. So start this side, just push it up flush. Right, that's better. Door trim on. Oh, actually, before I forget, weather shield, which is here. Just goes on there. That's that on. Beautiful. I've put the factory foam back on, or sponge. It's fucking shit. I hate this stuff, but it's meant to be there, and that's why I hate it. Because this shit and this stuff just absorbs fucking moisture, and look what it causes. So yeah, we'll get the door card on, and that's this one done. Job done. That would have been a lot quicker if I wasn't filming and if both cars were near each other. It was better bringing this one out the back here, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. It's pretty easy. I'm cleaning up as I go, so I cleaned up all this, got all there was some extra paint or something along the edge of this, so I've got all that off. So it's good to go. I'm probably going to change this one over while I'm here, get that one off that door. Door card's off that one anyway, so I've just got to get this door card off and swap them out. They're easy because there's no, obviously there's no main frame here to take out, it's just the glass. So I'll do that so it matches this tint. The only one that's going to be off is the driver's one, but that's fine. May get that tinted. I've got to get the rear one done tomorrow morning, but I'm not going to get the driver one done. I'll leave it for now. I may get to it later on, but we'll see how it goes, see how it turns out. So let's get this passenger one done, and then it's finished. Taking these door cards on and off. I don't know how many times I've had them on and off, but hopefully this will be the last time. I think it should be. Everything seems to be working, everything's come up good. Tuesday it's got its inspection, so hopefully, if all is well, see how we go. Once this is all done, it does need a good wash. Alright, so the car's had its first wash. I just gave it a quick wash, literally a quick one, and it's come up really good for what it is. I shouldn't be doing this, but I'll put my plates on it so I can drive it down to get the window tint sorted out. So that's booked in about an hour or so to get all this sorted out. I just vacuumed it out again for the 1000th time. Looks like a cat had a bit of a sleep in here last night, so there was all cat hair and sand all over the back here, so we got all that out. It's all clean and ready to go now. It's booked in for the pits tomorrow. So yesterday afternoon I didn't film any of it, but I got the bonnet on off my car, so my car's sitting there now. So the bonnet's all on. This car's looking sick. I've got to get this guard polished up, but that's easy, I'll do all that later. But the bonnet, I was having issues with getting the bonnet sorted out. I don't know why, and even still so, it's sitting up quite high. It's not sitting flush. and I couldn't get the thing to close. So I don't know if I've done anything wrong or what, but I mean, I would have thought it was just a bolt-on deal and off you go. But yeah, it was a pain in the ass. So it took a bit longer than I was hoping for, but it's on now. It'll probably end up staying on the car. I don't know if I'll piss fart around with it and try and get it any better. It is working. But like I said, I might have this car sold already, which is cool. But it's come up pretty good with a wash. It does need a polish, obviously. I don't know if you can see all this paint fade, but the polish will get that up easily. I did a little bit by hand here yesterday. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but I did this top section by hand. The whole thing was just like this flat, dull, chalky finish. It's not even chalky, it's just flat. So I just did a little section there. It's going to come up really good. Even the boot lid, I don't know if you can see that little spot I did here by hand. Same thing on that. So I was going to put the boot lid off that onto this one, and then the one off the one out the back onto that, because I want that one. But this one will probably come up with a polish, so I don't think I'm going to bother. Only thing to do is change this door out, the passenger door. I'm going to get that off the back, the car out the back. That's perfect. And the car at the back, I'm going to get the rear door and put on that as well. So a few more bits to get off that. And this morning I took it for a spin last night, just a test drive. First time the engine sort of really got to running temp, proper running temp. And I had a bit of an exhaust leak. So this morning I took off the rear muffler and the center section, so the two mufflers, and swapped those over from the car out the back. So that's all done. Didn't film any of that, but it wasn't really that hard. But that's sorted now, so seat belts are all good now. They're retracting as good as they should, good enough anyway. Yeah, get this tint done today and fingers crossed for tomorrow. Ew. So we just picked the car up from the tint place. Got the back window sorted. Looks awesome. So cheers, fellas. Now to get the thing home. All right, just got home from the tinters. They've done a pretty good job. You can see through the back window now, which is a good thing. They matched it pretty well to the rest of the tint, which is good. So yeah, it looks like it was always there. Last thing to do before the inspection tomorrow, I got some new tail light globes, indicator globes for the tail lights. I usually buy the Nava ones, but this is all that Super Shit had, so hopefully they'll actually work out of the pack. I've bought that brand before and they haven't worked straight out of the pack, so see how we go. Car's ready to go. Inspection tomorrow, so I've just got to give it one quick vacuum here because they've made a bit of a mess with the film, getting the old film off the back. But that's expected, so I'll just give that a bit of a tickle. It's ready to go. Car's come up really good. I just drove, I think about 100 and something Ks, and man, this car drives awesome. Drives, I hate to say it, but better than my car. Last thing I need to get, but I'll worry about that once it's registered, is one of these armrests. You think I can find one anywhere? Like I said, I'm going to get one from eBay, but I'm still looking to see if anything pops up locally, but not having much luck. But yeah, for tomorrow I'm just going to put the one off my car on there because mine's perfect, so that'll keep the guys at the pits happy. I don't know how it's going to go. There's not really much they can pick on it. Yeah, it drives beautiful. Everything works, so we just have to wait and see. So yeah, fingers crossed for the morning. Booked into 8 o'clock, so we'll see how it goes. Phew.